Hello and welcome to one of our specials. Today we're going to be doing a buddy reads. I think that's the name of it.
I think it is. That's what other people do, where someone recommends them a book and they read it themselves.
Yeah.
I think I've got the idea right,
Yeah.
so that's what we're going for.
It's stolen. It's a stolen idea.
Well, yeah,
Not
everyone
original.
does it.
Everyone, yeah, whatever. So we've got two books that we've both read, and then one book that you've just read, but I recommended it without even reading it.
So I've read all three books,
Yeah.
basically. You've just read two, because you can't read as quick as me.
No, I can't read. This channel's a real struggle for me.
Life's a real struggle for you
It
if you can't
is.
read your job and everything.
But explain some of the comments I've got there. So today we're going to kick off with a book that is a little bit different from the usual stuff we cover on this channel. It's a historical fiction, and it is 1066, What Fates Impose by G.K. Holloway, which is kicking off at the moment, actually. I was looking at some of the reviews, which I'll get into. I always like to see what other people think of it before I make my whole review, just to check if I'm like the only one. But yeah, this is I think the lowest review of this book on Amazon was 2 stars, which is the lowest ever, and it was all the majority was 5 stars, then 4 stars. So obviously that says something about it straight away. But basically, I'm going to read a little bit from the blurb to you. Got it on my notes. So, because I can't see that because we don't have any lights. So, England is in crisis. King Edward has no heir and promises never to produce one. There are no obvious successors available to replace him, but quite a few claimants are eager to take the crown. While power struggles break out between the various factions at court, enemies abroad plot to make England their own. There are raids across the borders with Wales and Scotland. So this is technically it's a historical fiction, but it is so accurate. Well, I wasn't there, but everyone's saying how accurate it is, and the characters are so accurately described. It is actually, one of the top comments was that it was a fly-on-the-wall documentary.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so it is a fiction. Obviously, it's set out like a true novel, a true historical fiction, but it is about real events, has real characters in it, and is incredibly well researched.
Yes.
So this covers areas such as how the Normans conquered England in 1066, obviously 1066, What Fates Impose, and how the bastard offspring of Duke Robert the Magnificent of Normandy, which is my new job title, how he became King William I.
Yeah.
Now, I'll jump straight out at you. I'll tell the truth. I haven't read this book now. So I'll tell the truth. I'm not a huge reader. I'm not a huge experienced reader of historical fiction or historical non-fiction or anything like that. But I don't mind history. Obviously, I think it's very important that we all sort of learn. And battles and stuff, they sort of pop up in my mind every now and again. Every time I'm angry at work, I think, oh, what would it like to go to war? So this is the thing. So so people have described it as a fly-on-the-wall documentary type book. Now, although it is historical fiction, the accuracy, depth, and detail that has gone into these characters and just this entire book, although it's a fiction, I felt really productive while reading this. I felt like I was constantly learning, and it was a fiction at the same time, which I was enjoying. Which usually, I sit down and relax to a fiction, and then I learn and feel productive when reading a non-fiction. Whereas this kind of hit both of them, which I've never read a book before which has hit both of those markers.
Yeah.
So that was really unique experience that I don't think I'll get with many books, or certainly none I've read so far. So for me, it wasn't a relaxing read. I wouldn't read it in the bath, but if I had a spare few minutes of the day and I wanted to read something and I fancied going to war and I fancied being a man, or an aggressive woman, then this was the obvious choice. So it wasn't a read in one go, but it certainly wasn't a struggle. So it was a nice balance. We'll get on to a read in one go in a second. But yeah, it was a nice balance. As I said, it hit them 2 markers of feeling productive while also a fiction. So yeah, I don't.
What would you give it for stars?
So I'll give it a 4 star.
Yeah.
Now I give it a 4 star because I can tell how much has gone into this.
Yeah.
How much research and how much just detail and pure passion for this subject has gone into it. But it isn't my personal read.
Yeah.
For instance, so for example, so if you're not a experienced history thing, if you're just a casual history, I don't mind learning about certain points in history, but you're not a huge history buff, you might find some of it a little bit not dry, but a little bit full. Like the
Yeah.
language very high class, and you know, I'm not very smart, so you have to think about everything. You know, whereas there's not normal fictions I read you don't have to think about. You know, so it depends, but obviously that's personal and your own perspective. Blah, 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 blah. So it's your own kind of. You kind of got to judge that one for yourself. But if you do fancy like kind of learning and going to war, then this one might be worth checking out.
Yeah.
It's a really good price actually as well on Amazon.
Yeah.
To be fair. So yeah, the reviews like from everyone you can see on Amazon are nothing but praise. So it's like obvious that G.K. Holloway has obviously gone to a lot of effort with this book, and he's obviously very passionate about the subject, and creates a cracking story from real events.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, as not a big reader of historical fiction, I think I've maybe read one before, and I didn't really reckon much to it.
Yeah.
So I weren't expecting much of it, and this is a hell of a book
to
get stuck into if you're not into the genre. But I really liked it. I thought it was good. Again, I wouldn't read it necessarily for pleasure, but that's just for like. That's just kind of because I'm into different stuff.
Yeah.
But for this, I mean, as you said about the characters and stuff, they're really well done.
Yeah.
I mean,
you get inside the head of these kings. You get inside their like mind that you just. It's so. Sorry, I wrote down something in my notes and stuff. Yeah, so as you say, like again, we're both not very experienced with historical fiction, but I think you'd agree that we're in good hands for our first time.
Oh God,
and you know, we got transported into that world very quickly.
Yes.
And I could find myself losing myself within this world extremely quickly.
Yeah, definitely. I think a few of the reviews that I can't say better than what they've put. The 11th century as if it was yesterday.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think it was well written. It was really well written. A fantastic look at a fascinating time. I think again, I didn't find it boring. It wasn't boring.
No, not at all. It's as I say, like it can like some bits because it's very high. It's very, very intellectual, and if you know you two not very intellectual people sat on this couch, it can seem quite daunting and a task, but you do get transported in that world rather quickly. Actually.
Another review that might appeal to some people: a book I wished I'd read when studying A-level history.
Yeah, well,
so I mean that's.
Well, the way I described it, like kind of, so to sum it up neatly, I said in my notes, I can only describe it as a history textbook on steroids. So that's how I want to leave. That's the tag of my review.
I'd give it 3.5. I think just because it's not my genre.
Yeah.
But from this type of book, I'd have been looking at a 1 or a 2 because I'd have just like, nah.
yeah.
So 3.5 for me is like really good.
Yeah. So I think
if you're definitely into this, you need to check this out.
If you're interested in history, war, or just maybe even if you're just interested in trying something different, if you're getting a bit like sluggish with your reading,
don't let the size put you off.
No,
because it is I didn't think it was too long for what it was, so it's worth it.
Yeah,
it's worth all the 1,000 pages. No, it's worth all these 450 pages that's in this book. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's good.
The only comment is it should have an audiobook.
Right, so the book that I recommended you to read.
Yes.
Which I included it in my weekly wrap up quite a few weeks ago. No, I can't remember when exactly. It was a couple of months ago, I think. And I had to get you to read it.
Yeah.
I had to because it was amazing, and I really want to know your thoughts on it.
Well, this we're talking about Close to Home by Cara Hunter. Now you're a huge thrillers fan.
Yeah.
That's majority of what you read.
Yeah.
I'm not, or at least I don't read any thrillers. But oh my God, am I going to read some thrillers after this book? I feel like you've given me the best one.
Yeah.
And as I don't know if you've seen the whole videos that we did before. They're online if you want to check it out. The reason why I got a load of thrillers in that haul was because of this book. I don't even know where to start. so yeah, this was a pretty much reading one for me. It took me like 2 days. But it was pretty solid. It was almost it is a reading one for me. It was a reading 2, but that's like really cool for me. So first of all, I think you said it in your review. Obviously, there's no kind of chapters. It's all like these only things. There's kind of chapters. These little sections, probably that last about a page and a half.
Well, they're like tweets, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, the stories are in sections because it's POV, isn't it? You do a better review on this than I do. But instead of the chapters breaking it up, it's cut up, like you said, it's cut with like transcripts, manuscripts. Technically, the whole thing's a manuscript. The transcripts, tweets, like Facebook posts and stuff, which straight away had done so well. The Cara Hunter has obviously spent a hell of a lot of time on Facebook and Twitter because she nailed it. So it's about a kid who goes missing, and like, you know, it's a bit of like a who's done it sort of thing. Yeah. It's so much more than that, but it's a who's done it simply. Now, when this happens in real life, if you follow any like police station on Twitter and then you read the comments, this nails it. Like, people are dicks, people blame people that they don't know, and everyone's like, oh, it's the dad, oh, it's the mum, and like, oh no, it's not, it's this person who I don't like, and things like that. It's just cruel and awful. Now you're taken through all of this, and it's truly a roller coaster. So the lack of chapters, the lack of that breaking up through the whole thing, just sucks you in, and you just want to go on more and more. The only thing that I had a problem with this, as I say, it's like the little sections of each person's story is about a page and a half, and it always ends with like a new piece of information. Yeah. Right. Now it throws you everywhere. Like, there's no, like, you can't go 5 pages without you can't go 5 pages without blaming somebody else, you know, or thinking it was somebody else, suspecting somebody else has done it. Now that gets a little bit annoying, or it did for me a little bit, because I was getting tossed into it. I hadn't got a clue, and everyone was guilty for all these different things, and things kept popping up from the dark. You think he's a pedo, you think there's like loads of things come out, and you're like, oh. But that was only because I was so invested in the story that I wanted to know what happened. And it didn't put me off reading further, like some cliffhangers do. Yeah. They kind of like, I know, like, they'll be off on a tangent, but The Walking Dead, like, them cliffhangers just kind of got to me so much that I stopped watching the show because I don't care anymore. Just give me what I paid Sky for, you know what I mean? But this wasn't like that. It does keep you on your edge of your seat, and you just want to find more. So you're just consuming, and the ending, good God, does it come off? I was not, like, I got to the ending, it just, the last pages and stuff, and it just blows you away. Yeah. It really does keep you until the very end, and I got so passionate with this book. Yeah. But now I have the problem of, how do I replace it? Like, what do I read after this? Well, I'll tell you, the second one that's coming out in June. But well, I've got until July to wait for the second one. Yeah. But what do I do now?
I hope that one makes, like, lives up to it.
But I think I might be talking out my arse. But sorry, I'm swearing those. I might be talking out my bottom. But I think this is her first thriller. I think I might.
It's in the series. It's in the thriller series.
Is it the first in the series? Yeah. So this is the first Adam Foley thriller. He's written fantastically, by the way. Oh God, I love this book. But yeah. I can't praise this enough. Go and read it. I don't want to spoil anything out about it. Just go and read it.
It was going to be, when I read it, it was like this thing of, can anything top it? Yeah. But I have found a few things that have. That I got that same level of thingy to. So on our next buddy read, I'll recommend you something.
I don't know how I feel about I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Stars.
5.
Are you sure? Not a 1?
That's 3.5, I think. No, straight up 5 stars.
Well, I'm pleased I did well for you.
Yeah, that was good.
Right, you recommended me this.
Yes.
Straight away, I'll just say 5 star.
Or is it really 5 stars?
I can't. Oh my God, yes.
It's a really positive day, this. Isn't it?
Yeah, Mercy for Animals by Nathan Runco, and it is the story of how he set up the charity Mercy for Animals, which is in compassion for world farming, basically. That's what it stands for. And it is inspirational. It is amazing. Now, even if you're not into veganism, or, you know, you don't really want to go against that industry or whatever, fine. But this one thing, to say that he started when he was so young, and I mean a kid, and he's just his passion for wanting to change the world was amazing. Absolutely amazing. What I will say is the final 2 chapters, I kind of felt like I didn't really need to read them, just because I know so much about the future of food, which is the final chapter, and the power of one, about what people can do to change the world. But I think if you're not fully into that, I think you should definitely read it all the way. Yeah, he had some hardship when he was young. and it talks about his pets.
Yeah.
A few little pets that he had. His rat, which he absolutely loved, and he got that. I won't ruin it too much, but he got that from a neighbour because he lived on a farm, and he got that rat from a neighbour.
Yeah.
Who he since found out was breeding the rats to take to colleges to do experiments on.
Oh.
And it was his favourite pet.
Yeah.
And he went with it everywhere. And I'll just show you this one little picture before I stop talking about this book, because I could go on for ages about it, because it was so good. And that was his rat.
I hadn't seen that before. I haven't read the book.
You recommended it to me, and I was like, oh my god, yes, I really want to read it.
Yeah, so just
this might be on your TBR soon then.
Yeah.
So I don't want to ruin it for you, but it is phenomenal. And that chapter's called A Rat, a Piglet and Me.
Aww.
And it's just so nice, his compassion and everything for this. For just the way, and I love the cover.
Yeah, that's a really nice
cover. I think it's so sweet. And yeah, it's great. So yeah, it's obviously about veganism, and how, going against the horrific thing. And I will just say this, there is some horrific details of when he went in as an activist on egg farms, and I've seen a lot of documentaries about it, but this particular, I don't know whether because reading just soaks it in your head more, it really got to me. Just that it describes so much more of what they see, and it really, really upset me. But yeah, he did a fantastic thing, and the stuff that he goes through at school with regards to a pig is horrific and horrendous. And I don't know how a school allowed it. But I'll let you read it to see what that's about. But yeah, 5 stars, definitely. Amazing book.
Cool.
Amazing.
That's a pretty positive episode, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It'd be pretty funny if we recommended books to each other that went naff, wouldn't it?
I don't know. Well, it's personal taste, isn't it?
I'm going to give you something that's really going to get on your nerves.
Yeah, well, it's personal taste.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
I'll give you a book that I DNF'd and see how you can get on with it.
Yeah. Right. Thank you so much for watching this. Please check out any other videos, especially our weekly wrap-ups if you haven't already.
They're a lot shorter than this
video. They are a lot shorter. Yeah, we don't go on as much. But thank you so much for watching this. Check out our other stuff. Stay around. Be a part of a notification gang. I know everyone does it. I don't know.
What was that?
It's like a gang that it's people say notification squad and stuff. I just want to be a part of it.
And scribe as always.
Scribe. Yeah.
That's my new thing.
Check out all the details under the table, and yeah, that's it. Follow me on Instagram.
Thanks a lot.
You don't have to.